Good morning all. Good morning faculty members and students. It is my pleasure to interact with you. First of all, congratulations for having selected Kriya. I think this is one of the wisest decisions you have made, I can assure you, because I know how the kind of values and the way the institute is built and performing, and you will not regret. This will be one of the great stepping stones in your life. So I would like to share my journey briefly, and also my experience, some of the experiences, what I thought would be of use to you. I would take maybe about 30 minutes max, try to finish off within that. I also would like to thank Kapil, my friend, who has given me this opportunity. Thank you, Kapil. I came from a small town called Cuddalore. I was very mediocre in studies. I studied in Tamil medium. Grew with a lot of inferiority complex. My siblings, they all studied in English medium. And my eldest was a doctor. He was put into doctor. And now he turned into a businessman. The next was a lawyer. And again, my eldest sister was also a gynecologist doctor. I was fourth in the line. Since I didn't study well, my father said, okay. Initially, he said, you are fit for agriculture. I also believed that way. Okay, I was very happy. So let me do something easier. Later, he thought, okay, he started business. He was a teacher, school teacher, mathematics teacher. So he thought, okay, later he said, okay, you come into business. I started a business. I'll put you into chemistry. You be a chemist in my business. That's how he said. So I joined chemistry as a graduation. During my second year, my father died of heart attack. And he was the one, during when he was in his career teaching, he felt very bored and said, okay, I'm going to do something on my own. He quit his teaching profession and started a small industry. And that is where he started making pharma products, pharmaceutical products, capsules, and so on. And also started shampoo. And that time that he created the same machines for that, there was no machine to pack liquids in those days. And that's how the sachet shampoo was born. He named it Velvet. And I think after his demise, my brothers took it over and built it very well. And after my graduation, I joined the family business. Even the business starting itself, after my father's demise itself was an interesting story. My father borrowed 2 lakhs loan from State Bank of India. The family didn't have money to pay at that time. So we approached the bankers and said, we don't have money to pay you at this time, but we would like to close the business. Bankers promptly said, if you want to close it down, pay the money, or else we have to take over the security what was given. That's your one and only house. So mother and brothers thought through and said, okay, I was not a party to that decision. I was just in college. We will run the business. My brothers said, we will run the business. None of them knew the intricacies of business, including me, because my father never involved us. He wanted us to, each one of us, to go into different field, doctor, lawyer, like that. But fate had it. Velvet took off very well because the concept was so powerful. My father didn't believe in advertising. Contrary to that, my brothers believed in advertising. They advertised, product took off. No looking back. By the time I joined the family business after my graduation, I think it was doing very well. So I joined with having a lot of inferiority complex only. Because my brothers studied well, they are successful in the business. So I was throughout in Tamil medium. So difficult, all these kind of things, a lot of complexities. But one thing that changed in my life was my father's demise. Till my father was alive, am I audible? Just wanting to check. Okay, fine, thanks. Till my father was alive, all decisions relating my career, anything, I never even used to think of it. My father decided. He would say, first he said agriculture, I believe, okay, agriculture. After that, when he started business, he said, you come to business? I said, okay, fine. After my father's demise, I said to myself, come what may, I'm not going to entrust my life responsibility, a decision relating to my life, either to my brothers, elder brothers, or to my mother. And all along I was towing the line of my family, but that was a very defining moment of my career. First time I owned up my responsibility. I also said to myself, I'm not going to blame my parents or my past studies. It is entirely up to me. I'm going to make it up myself. And that I think is a very, very defining resolution of mine, if you ask me. So when I started owning up, instead of blaming my parents, so instead of blaming my own education, no, I couldn't do that, all these things, I started owning it up. Why I'm telling is when I passed out of my college, third year when I completed out, I had 28 years. Okay. So that was a kind of this thing. That is how I was in education. I failed in schools. So it was all along a struggle in education. So I can't even talk one sentence in English when I graduated from college. And now it's all behind. After coming to business, I joined the business, my brothers along with them, but with a lot of inferiority complex. But that didn't last long. Within 3-4 months' time, I said, hey, it's common sense. So it's not great. So I can also do it. So that was very much haunting in my mind, that English and good marks is equal to life performance. And suddenly I said, I can also perform. It's not a great deal. And that I think gave a lot of confidence. I started actively discussing business principles, strategies, however much within 4th month onwards. And that didn't go well with my brothers, because all along they were seeing me growing up timid, listening to whatever they said, and suddenly arguing, coming out with that kind of thing and questioning them, their own decisions. And that didn't go well. So it resulted in a lot of small quarrels, displeasures. Then about 8th month, I said, I'm going to walk out of my family. The next 4 months, my confidence grew so well. I said, I can go out and stay on my own. I can fly. And that's what happened. I went out of home and I used to take salary of 2,000 rupees. I was given at that time per month. And that was, I saved that because in a small town, there is no expenses for that. So I walked away with 15,000 rupees money. And that I think was my one and only investment so far. And after that, I think no looking back is what I would say. Struggled, but the key point is the real transformation happened after going out of home. I'm really thankful to that. Why I am very thankful to that is, though my brothers, we didn't get along well, I wanted to buy peace, I left home. It is like burning the bridge. I burnt the bridge. When I walked out of my home, I told my family members, including my brothers and my mother, that I don't want any share in the business, nor in the family property. I also said them, I told them, bye, I will say hi, I will come once in a way, but I will not come for these properties or stake claim. That is the kind of pressure I put into myself. Therefore, I can't go back to my family. I burnt the bridge which I crossed. So I have to succeed now. That's only one very important driver and the pressure I took on to myself. After I went out, I took a very small 250 square feet small house. That is where I started my office come residence. And from scooter, I graduated. Car also it was given. And I graduated back to bicycle. Know this thing. I was very determined because I knew that a lot of friends and relatives advised, why are you get along with your brothers. Why are you taking this kind of thing? Don't lose your comforts. I said, I will create something on my own. And I think that's one of the wisest decisions I did. And that really helped, is what I would say. And having told very clearly to my family, I think I started working myself very hard. Really, I started reading after that. So I thought through that. I don't want to go back to family. I have to succeed. The only way out is that I have to learn English. English is very important for me. And that would help me in terms of learning a lot of subjects, management techniques, because a lot of books, business books, are all only in English in those days. And nowadays, I can see few Tamil books. And also, if you look at all the technical, anything you read, you want to upgrade your knowledge, that is only English is one thing. And wanting to go beyond Tamil Nadu also, discussing with vendors or anybody, I think you need to know English, no other book. So though I started off in Cuddalore, my ambition is to go beyond Tamil Nadu, very clear. So all I did is I stopped all my favorite vernacular weeklies, Tamil papers, newspapers, all my Tamil readings. To that extent, nowadays, if I'm to write in Tamil, I'm very doubtful of whether I'm using the right kind of word and the characters. So to that extent, I have lost touch, and I'm happy on that. I can talk very well in Tamil, no doubt on that. But in writing, it is so much gap. After so many years, I started writing. I started thinking in English, and that has come a long, long way. Because from a thinking in Tamil to thinking in English, and reading only English papers, learned through dictionary. Every day I learned 5 words. Relentlessly wrote 5 sentences using each word. Looked at the meaning, started constructing in my own way. Whatever grammatical error, it's okay. I started writing. I did that for the next 2 to 3 years time, and my vocabulary dramatically improved. Initially, so many words I couldn't understand when I read a kind of article in a management book or in the paper. After over a period of time, I can understand contextually. Even if I don't understand one word, I can understand the meaning of it. Therefore, that gets ingrained in your mind. So that, I think, that's the way I learned English. Then once I started learning English, started reading management books, started listening management cassettes. That, I think, is a very, very defining period of mine, if I am to ask. I started very early, started reading personal transformation books. That, I think, gave me a lot of confidence. If you ask me, where is my principles came from? Where are my principles came from? Where are my kind of strength came from? And where is the business concepts and the personal discipline came from? All from those management books. I have to thank so many management gurus, not one, but I can tell you, whichever one that appealed to me, I said I'm going to change. Simple thing, I took a step. I like this principle of, for example, waking up in the morning. Early morning is one thing. I love sleeping. I sleep 8.5 hours, 9 hours used to sleep. Then I said I'm going to put my alarm at 5:30 in the morning. I have to wake up, contrary to 7:30, 8 o'clock kind of this. I woke up at 5:30, come what may, I used to jump off the bed, and whatever time I go to the bed, it's immaterial, and commit myself and started doing the routine step. I read a book called 10 Natural Laws of Successful Time and Life Management. And that was one of the defining book of my character and my time, the way I started spending. So in that book, it was very clearly talked about the magic 2.5 hours. How you spend to yourself, transforming yourself every day 2.5 hours. And that very early, I imbibed that. I started doing it from the year 1984. Even now, it's my habit. I don't know any other way to spend my time. That 2.5 hours is mine. I started investing in myself. And over a period of time, I started moving 1 millimeter, growing 1 millimeter a day. But over a period of so many days and years, I've grown to this level. This is what, if I'm to say that 15,000 investment has grown to today about 1,800 crore worth of an empire. And that is different, but it is my personal transformation, the way I could able to lead the business. Therefore, my colleagues, all are responsible in success. But at the end of the day, the transformation of the leadership is very important. But I can't take the ownership of I am the one person who succeeded. In a personal journey, I can take ownership of, because of my personal transformation, I succeed. So why I'm articulating this is, I would like you to look at how you commit yourself to your personal transformation. This success doesn't come just like that. Your education can earn you a good job, but holding on to it, growing from there are very, very different things. It can only, it's a starting point. Your education, landing a job is a starting point. I can tell you one thing. I've seen so many candidates. I've interviewed so many candidates so far. I've seen their life. I could able to see what a colossal mistakes these guys have made. Some of them very, very enviable track record. What has separated them from the people who have been jumping and doing such kind of mistakes? I've seen people, most of them have grown from what is their first salary. I ask them normally, this is one of the important things, I don't forget to do that. So till such time my research showed that this is what it is, because I do research in this also. So I did that kind of a thing, looked at their first salary, first year salary, to 10th year, 20th year, 25th year, like that. So typically a person joins a job at the age of 25. So 25 years and hence, I have seen them, some of them at 6 times of their first salary, some of them at 15 times. They range between 6 to 15 times of first year salary. Supposing you get a job at 15 lakhs, maybe after 25 years, you may be getting about your 15 lakhs per annum may go to 3.75, something like that. But I have also seen people whose salary has gone to 100 times, 1,000 times and more, 10,000 times and all. So what separates this ordinary from extraordinary? 6 to 15, I call them ordinary. Below 6 is, I think it's poor performance. So if you want to grow above 15 times, I would say a decent this thing, you should not benchmark below 100 times of your first year salary at the age of 50, is what I would like you to kind of say. I'm not equating money to success, but at the end of the day, money matters. Let's keep that. I think the characters is far more important. The values are far more important. But money is also one more important thing that determines your comfort. And that is a very important thing that in life. So I have seen them. My advice is those who earned much higher salary, they work only in 2 or 3 organizations, not too many jobs. Nowadays, the jumping of jobs because experience is a fashion. I think they choose a good company, they perform, they grow and grow and grow. They harvest the kind of knowledge and this thing as they go on to. After 50 years, I have seen their salary has grown. The next 10 years is a real harvesting time. 50 to 60, they will harvest like crazy. Every year, it could be like, people will end up every year, 25 times, 30 times or 40 times of their salary, of initial salary they will get. They will go, keep increasing. Every year it will multiply like that. So, what is the learning out of that is 2.5 years, normally in Indian context, worldwide also I have seen, 2.5 years to 3 years is where the company and the individual come to a decision that this person is good. At the end of 2.5 years, he or she also learns that, okay, I may not get promotion here, therefore let me jump. If they are going to get promotion, better kind of career growth and opportunity, people won't move. Company also feels that it's responsibility of both. Company also feels that I'm not going to give promotion, or I may give at best a cosmetic promotion. I call them officer to senior officer, but doing the same job. I call it a cosmetic promotion. The real promotion is I grow up in terms of managing more people, and that's very, very important. So if you start looking at that, every year if they start growing, third year, fifth year, eighth year, I've seen people who have grown in 9-10 years in the same company, about 4-5 promotions. Yes, players. If you can prove in this with the same company that you can grow well, I think that is when you spend about 10-12 years time, move to another company, or if you are still seeing very great opportunity, even if leavers, if you look at all the CEOs in the Sun Unilever or big companies, they all spent long years, initial long years, multiple promotions in the same company. And that would be the kind of thing. You keep hopping, your depth is lower. 2.5 years, you can 2 years, 2.5 years, you go to another company, another 2 years, you can go. You will get your salary hike of yearly, you start harvesting yearly. And that's not a good thing. Too early harvesting, after 4-5 rounds of company, this thing, people look at this guy, this person is not stable in a job. Will shift every 2 years or 3 years. That means he has not got a promotion within the same company. That's very important. So this is the way people are looking at it. They are all learned companies. I have been discussing with a lot of CEOs of big companies. Everybody are very clear of the news. When they are looking at candidates for long, at lower level, they will recruit people, okay, 2 years, 3 years, hopping may not matter. But after some time, how many promotions you have? If you really want to get into senior management, have you grown is very, very important in a particular thing. So my advice is, be careful when you change the job. Don't change over for 25%, 30%, 40% salary just like that. You are pledging all your future if you don't keep on shifting too many times. This is one thing I would like to leave you with. The other one I would like to kind of think is, anything you do passionately, you will do fabulous job. I think that is very important. Don't do it just for money. Money will only take you to some levels. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Suddenly my internet has gone for 6. So money can only go up to certain level. If you target money, then you'll say, oh, I have achieved this, then the passion will go for 6. It is like a balloon without air. So I think if you fill the balloon inside yourself with passion, then that is no boundary. It doesn't know any boundary. Passion knows no boundaries. So don't fill it up with the goal of just money. That is one side goal. Fill it up with passion, wanting to be known for something, wanting to be kind of leading, and such kind of things I think you should be passionate about, contributing back to humankind in many ways. So that is one. I learned that because what drives me today is, initially when I came out of my family business, it's survival, wanting to prove my family that I can. But I changed as I started surveying myself. Okay, I said, okay, I'm here to stay. I'm not going to vanish. Then I said, okay, what is that? And a lot of people asked my business whether it is for sale. So I also wanted to know, okay, what is the kind of valuation I'll get? So that was tempting enough. Oh, we can sell and settle kind of thing. Then I asked myself, what am I going to do with money? Is money all? Money is going to give me kind of this thing. I said, that's not going to satisfy me, because it's a fantastic vehicle which has been built. I don't want to sell it and keep the money in the bank and kind of this thing. That will make me very, very lazy. And this platform is not easy to build. And with that, you can do wonders. Therefore, this thing, as I start thinking, and then I started doing at 50 crore itself, that dilemma. The business was at 50 crore, this kind of dilemma used to haunt me. And I was very clear at the 50 crore level. Then I had a chat with one of my friends and gave a lot of clarity that no, I'm not going to chase money. So I'm not here for sale. So I'm going to chase my passion. So I started chasing my passion. So my passion, I asked her, building a great organization that will live beyond me, built on the foundation of values. And therefore, I think that drives me. Is it everything I do, it is not short term whether I survive for this year, or am I making an organization that will survive on its own, and I'll be known for how much money I make is not important, but how passionately I build the organization, how strongly I build. And therefore, how many people I will be of benefit to is very important with my whatever leadership I can. So that helped me to travel so far, and that will continue to be. Because my wife used to ask me, how long you are going to work? Are you going to? I said, as long as I can. I'm very clear. So my son asked me, Dad, do you need to work? I said, I need to work. I love working. Therefore, I will sing. It's not that if you feel you love relaxing, then you would always love to relax. I said, I love working. I'm very happy doing it. I chase my passion, not my pension. So if I started chasing my pension, that is money, I think I would have got tired by now. So one other thing I would like to tell you, in my story has told me very clearly, one classic example so far is emotional quotient. IQ, you know, IQ is very, very important. People have thought that IQ is one, people will rule the world, and that's very important. Now increasingly everybody has understood, and it's well agreed principle. EQ with some amount of IQ is great. If you put an IQ test to me, I would only score maybe 25 to 30%. I can tell you, not more than that. But if you give me an EQ test, I'll be over 90. I'm very clear. So that is one of the reasons why I'm talking to you is, please understand, EQ will determine your leadership altitude. IQ will get you a job, but not get you promotions. EQ will only what will make you where you will be. Emotional quotient, there are two sub-segments of that. One is managing self and managing others. Under managing self, if you look at self-awareness and self-regulation, there are two sub-titles. And that is what, if you carefully dissect my life, and that is exactly what has happened. When I started my career, I was very raw. Did I have my own self-awareness? Very low. But started building it. I started realizing English is very important for me to grow. Not only English is a medium, but knowledge is very, very important. I need to gain knowledge. So that's self-awareness. What is self-discipline? Every day waking up in the morning and starting about 1 hour, half an hour to initially 1 hour to read and learn and put that learning, whichever one I like, into practice. And that's the discipline. And that is very, very important. You learn something, your self-awareness is there, you are determined, you are disciplined to do that, then you are committed to doing it and demonstrate it, then you have started managing yourself very well. Otherwise, your laziness will take over, your other habits will take over, that will pull you down. I love to sleep a lot. I forego that comfort. I came out of my comfort zone. I said, this is very important. I have a much higher order goal, and that's very, very important. So that I would like to say, a lot of us, if you look at, have the passion of, I wanted to reduce my weight. So everybody knew reducing weight means go for workout or be on diet or combination of both. A lot of us try, but how long we sustain? Tell me. Awareness is there, what to be done, but the self-discipline when it comes to, we just give up. We are good at 1 week, we have a lot of New Year resolution, but end up compromising and losing up. And if you have that as this thing, that becomes a habit of you. That determines every time I come with a resolution, every time I do that, it is okay to let go. That means I am allowing an attitude to build into myself of giving up against my own promises. And these are all very, very fundamental. If you start inculcating that habit of giving up, whether it is, that is what, nobody is going to commit yourself. There is no test. This managing yourself and self-discipline, managing self, that is self-awareness and this thing, what is it? Self-discipline. That, I think, the self-discipline, nobody is going to surprise, but for yourself. And that is when, if you succeed in that, you have succeeded 70%, I would say. That second portion is very important. A lot of people are aware. Self-awareness is there. But self-discipline, I can guarantee you, 9 out of 10 lakh. I would even say 95 out of 10 lakh. And I don't want you to be that 95. I would like you to be the 5. Please be aware. This is what will determine your life. The next thing is, managing others has 3 subtitles. One is motivation. The second one is empathy. Third one is social connectedness. So these 3 are the very important things. Motivation, how well people are comfortable in coming and talking to you, your own at a college level. Some people say, this person, if you go there, he will be always a very cranky guy. So not like that. It's very pleasant. People feel happy to come to you. It starts off at the college level. Then when you go to work, even colleagues, beyond hierarchy, if they are comfortable and coming and talking to you, I think that itself is a motivation. If they are seeing you as a title, if you wear your title and go around with authority, putting it in front, then people will be afraid of your title. They will not come and talk to you very freely. The motivation to talk will not be, it will be the title will come between you and the others. I think motivation, people should be motivated, be happy to discuss with you, work with you is very, very important. Empathy, looking from you, others' shoes, from their perspective. I think that's very important. It is all known. I don't need to elaborate on that. Third one is how well you are socially connected. And initially, it may not be of great use, but as you go up in life, social connectedness is an invisible ring that will help you whenever you are about to fall. So with this, I think I would like to close. Now is 10:31. So I hope my address is of use to you. Someday, if few of you believe that self-discipline, I am determined, I am going to commit a definite time to invest in myself. I can tell you after 25 years time, you will be determined to cut out to be a very, very different person. All the best.